Let's talk about meat, the most popular meat on the planet. When you walk into a bustling market or stroll through the aisles of a grocery store, you'll see a dazzling array of options: beef, chicken, lamb, fish, and more. But there's one protein that quietly dominates dinner tables across continents, cultures, and cuisines. No, it's not beef or chicken, it's pork. Despite what you might expect, pork is the reigning champion of the world's meat supply, outpacing its rivals by a significant margin. Pork makes up 36% of all meat consumed globally. That's more than a third of every steak, chop, or sausage eaten around the world. From bustling cities to rural villages, pork is a staple that feeds billions. From American bacon sizzling on a breakfast plate, to the sweet, smoky aroma of Hong Kong's char siu, to the hearty stews of Eastern Europe and the spicy sausages of Latin America, pork is a culinary cornerstone for billions. Its versatility and flavor have made it a beloved ingredient in kitchens from Asia to the Americas. But here's the twist. While pork is the most eaten meat, it's also the most controversial. For every person who relishes a pork chop, there's another who refuses to let it cross their plate. The debate over pork isn't just about taste or preference, it's a topic that can spark heated discussions at dinner tables and even fuel public protests. About 2 billion people, roughly a quarter of the world, won't touch it. In some countries, pork is a forbidden food, strictly avoided for religious or cultural reasons. In others, it's a cherished delicacy, celebrated in festivals and family feasts. This isn't just about taste, it's rooted in centuries of religious doctrine and cultural identity. For many, the decision to eat or avoid pork is a deeply personal one, shaped by faith, tradition, and the stories passed down through generations. The pig is a symbol, celebrated by some, forbidden by others. In some cultures, it represents prosperity and abundance. In others, it's seen as unclean or taboo, a creature to be shunned. The decision to eat or avoid pork has defined communities, sparked conflict, and shaped history. Food laws, ancient texts, and even wars have been influenced by this humble animal. How did one animal become both beloved and taboo? Why does pork inspire such strong feelings, both positive and negative, across the globe? To understand, we have to go back thousands of years. The story of pork is as old as civilization itself, woven into the fabric of human history. We'll see how wild boars became part of human settlements, and how ancient cooks invented the cured pork we love today. From the first domestication to the art of preservation, pork has evolved alongside us. Our journey will take us from lavish Roman banquets, where pork was a delicacy for emperors, to the smoky pits of Polynesian pig roasts, and across the ocean to colonial America, where pork fueled pioneers and shaped new cuisines. It's a tale of domestication, innovation, faith, and conquest. The pig's journey is intertwined with the rise and fall of empires, the spread of religions, and the invention of new ways to cook and cure meat. So, let's fire up our culinary time machine. We're about to embark on a journey through time, taste, and tradition. This is the 10,000-year story of the pig, a story of survival, controversy, and the enduring power of food to unite and divide us. Our story begins not with a farmer, nor with a grand plan, but with a clever wild boar, quietly foraging in the shadows of ancient forests. Long before the first fences were built or barns were raised, these animals roamed free, guided only by their instincts and the promise of a meal. But it was the wild boar's curiosity and adaptability that set the stage for an extraordinary transformation. These creatures were always on the lookout for new sources of food, and their keen noses led them to the edges of early, human settlements. Early agricultural villages around 9000 BC created irresistible trash piles, heaps of discarded food, shells, and scraps that marked the dawn of settled life. These piles became magnets for wildlife, especially for opportunistic animals like the wild boar. Wild boars saw an opportunity, easy food, and started hanging around humans. Over time, the boldest and most adaptable boars ventured closer, scavenging for leftovers, and learning to coexist with people. This remarkable process of self-domestication happened independently in places like Anatolia, Jerusalem, China, and Western Europe. Across continents, wild boars made the same choice: to trade the dangers of the wild for the relative safety and abundance found near humans. The pigs chose us, trading wild foraging for leftovers. In return, they offered their presence, their usefulness, and eventually their trust. This was not a one-sided relationship, but a gradual, mutual adaptation. Over generations, pigs changed, becoming smaller, calmer, and less aggressive. Their bodies grew rounder, their temperaments gentler, as the wild boar slowly transformed into the domestic pig we know today. Humans saw their value, not just as food, but as trash disposers, living composters who helped keep villages clean. Pigs became essential partners in the daily rhythms of rural life. People began managing and breeding pigs for desirable traits, choosing those that were friendlier, easier to handle, and better suited to life alongside humans. This careful selection shaped the future of both species. The wild boar became the domestic pig, smaller, rounder, and more docile. Their new form reflected the close bond that had developed between humans and pigs over thousands of years. In China, the character for home is a pig under a roof, a symbol of how deeply pigs became woven into the fabric of daily life and culture. For many, a home wasn't complete without a pig. They were more than livestock, they were a sign of prosperity, security, and family. The pig became part of the family, cared for and cherished, a companion in both work and daily life. Domestication was a partnership, one that would shape human history, agriculture, and even our sense of home. And it all started with a hungry boar, a pile of scraps, and the simple act of sharing a meal, a small beginning that changed the world forever. With a steady supply of pigs, communities across the world found themselves with an abundance of fresh pork. Raising pigs was relatively easy. They could thrive on scraps and forage, making them a reliable source of meat for families and villages alike. But this abundance brought a new challenge: how to keep all that meat from spoiling, especially during the warmer months or leaner times when fresh food was scarce. Before the invention of refrigeration, ancient cultures had to get creative. They experimented with salt, smoke, and air, discovering that these elements could transform fresh pork into something that would last for months. Sausage was one ingenious solution. By grinding pork, mixing it with salt and a variety of spices, then stuffing it into natural casings, people could cure the meat and store it safely. This process not only preserved the pork, but also allowed for endless regional variations in flavor and texture. The idea of sausage making spread across continents, giving rise to beloved varieties like Italian salami, German bratwurst, Spanish chorizo, and countless others. Each culture added its own twist, using local spices and techniques. In China, the practice of salting and smoking pork belly led to the creation of bacon, a delicacy that would become a breakfast staple around the globe. Salt drew out moisture, preventing bacteria from growing, while smoke infused the meat with rich, complex flavors. Together, these methods kept bacon safe to eat for weeks or even months. In Italy, curing entire legs of pork with salt and air gave birth to ham, most famously, prosciutto di Parma. This process required patience, as the meat would hang for months, slowly developing its signature savory taste. The art of ham making involved careful salting, meticulous air drying, and a great deal of time. The result was a delicacy, prized for its deep, nuanced flavors and tender texture. Thanks to these preservation methods, pork could be enjoyed year-round, even when fresh meat was unavailable. Sausages, bacon, and ham became pantry staples, sustaining families through harsh winters and long journeys. Over time, sausage, bacon, and ham evolved from simple preserved foods into culinary icons, celebrated in feasts and festivals, and cherished in kitchens everywhere. What began as a necessity for survival became a source of pride and creativity, inspiring chefs and home cooks to develop new recipes and traditions centered around preserved pork. Pork preservation stands as a testament to human ingenuity, a delicious legacy born from the need to make food last, and now, a beloved part of our shared culinary heritage. Pork wasn't just survival food, it was the centerpiece of celebration. Roasting a whole pig became a symbol of abundance and good fortune worldwide. Austronesian seafarers brought pigs to every island they settled, making them central to feasts. In the Philippines, lechon is a must for any major celebration. Ancient Greeks and Romans revered pork, making it the star of sacrifices and banquets. Roman feasts featured elaborate pork dishes, cementing its status as a luxury. In medieval Europe, the Diwam Sauwa, the annual pig butchering was both hard work and a communal feast. Every part was used, fresh pork enjoyed immediately, the rest cured for winter. The pig's role in celebration united communities and ensured survival. As some cultures celebrated pork, others forbade it, creating a major dietary divide. In ancient Egypt, pigs were seen as unclean, associated with chaos. Eating pork became a class distinction, avoided by elites, eaten by the poor. Judaism codified the pork taboo in Leviticus 10. Just have cloven hooves but don't chew cud, making them forbidden. This became a symbol of identity and resistance, especially after foreign conquest. Islam adopted and expanded the prohibition. The Quran calls pork impure. As Islam spread, pork disappeared from vast regions. Early Christianity, in contrast, relaxed dietary laws, including the pork ban, aiding its spread. The pig became a marker of faith, identity, and cultural boundaries. Pork's story crossed the ocean with European explorers. Columbus brought pigs to the Americas in 1493. They thrived and multiplied. De Soto's pigs in Florida grew from 13 to over 700 in 3 years. Feral pigs spread rapidly, transforming the American landscape. Native Americans adopted pork, blending it into traditional cooking. The word barbecue comes from the Taino barabiku, a method for smoking meat. European, indigenous, and African traditions fused, creating iconic dishes like pulled pork. Buccaneers, pirates who smoked pork, gave us the word itself. American barbecue was born from this cultural melting pot. Pork became central to New World cuisine. Its journey was shaped by conquest, adaptation, and innovation. For centuries, pig farming was small-scale and local. The Industrial Revolution changed everything. Cincinnati became Porkopolis. Assembly lines revolutionized pork processing and distribution. The mid-20th century brought antibiotics, enabling massive factory farms. Pigs moved indoors, raised in confined spaces for efficiency. Small farms vanished, replaced by giant corporations. Today, 1 billion pigs are alive at any moment. 1.5 billion are slaughtered yearly. Pork is cheaper and more abundant than ever. The pig is now a raw material for countless products: lard, gelatin, brushes, even antifreeze. Industrialization brought efficiency but also ethical and environmental questions. The modern pig is a symbol of both human ingenuity and its costs. Our relationship with pork has never been more complex. The story of pork is now one of scale, speed, and consequence. The pig's journey has shaped global cuisine and language. In China, pork is so central that meat often means pork. Italian salumi, German Wurst, American barbecue, Filipino lechon. Each culture has its pork icons. Every part of the pig is used, reflecting respect for the animal. Even language bears pork's mark. Pork and bacon from Norman French, swine and hog from Old English. The split in terms reflects a class divide. Farmers raised pigs, nobles ate pork. Words like larder and ham have deep roots in pork history. The pig's influence is everywhere, from our plates to our words. Today, China consumes more pork than the rest of the world combined. Pork, once a luxury, is now a daily staple, driving massive demand. The Chinese government even maintains a strategic pork reserve to stabilize prices. Factory farming dominates, raising concerns about animal welfare and the environment. Multi-story pig farms, pig skyscrapers, are now a reality. The pig's journey mirrors our own evolution, beliefs, and challenges. Pork is more than food, it's a symbol of culture, conflict, and innovation. Whether forbidden or beloved, the pig forces us to reflect on our values. It's always been more than just meat.